Welcome back to Simplifying the State, the podcast where we break down politics so you don't have to try to figure out why the French government collapsed in less than 24 hours after it was created. As always, I'm Adam Watson.
I'm Nicholas Perrin.
And I'm Drew Garfinkel.
All right, now before we start, if you would be so kind as to rate us and follow the podcast wherever you're listening, as well as share it with anyone you think would enjoy it, such as friends, family, or just a random person you see at Caldi's, as well as follow us at Simplifying the State on Instagram. We always post stuff when we drop a new episode, as well as clips from episodes we think you'll like. Okay, so today's topic we're going to be talking about is AI and how it can sort of shape and influence politics and sort of kind of how it will impact politics in the United States. So I think a lot of people have heard of Sora, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So how do you guys think stuff like Sora is going to impact politics in the United States or government in the United States?
Well, I mean, deepfakes have already been created that have been able to trick people. Like even in the last presidential election, there were AI-generated images. Like one I saw was like Harris giving a speech with a lot of people in an audience that were all like wearing red, and there was like the Soviet flag visible. So like, then those could only trick like, you know, moms or whatever, like Facebook moms or whatever.
Facebook moms,
yeah, with like Sora too, like it's so difficult to tell like what's real and what's fake. It's really like this could have deepfakes could become even scarier than they already are.
Yeah, to answer your question, I'd say not as much as we think would happen because of this, in politics specifically. Like obviously people are going to lose jobs because of this, but politically I don't think it'll be as much as we think. Now, I mean, in the future we don't know what this technology will look like, but right now you can still tell, and if you're going to fall for it, like you're a Facebook mom and you like on Facebook or whatever, and you're already falling for these AI. You guys have seen those AI images, right? It's like clearly fake. You're gonna fall for it anyway.
Yeah.
So these people who are already susceptible to it are gonna be even more so.
Yeah, I mean, I think before Sora, I would have agreed, but I think Sora has really kind of changed how I feel about that. So, I mean, it's still in its early testing phase, and it's still only available in an invite-only system, and it's not available to the general public, so I'm not even sure it's reached its full capabilities yet, but it's going to just be constantly evolving. And I mean, one of them, without the watermark, like I saw the watermark and then I realized, but without the watermark for like a little bit, I genuinely thought one of them was real. If the premise of what it was and what it was saying was not so ridiculously impossible, or like it wasn't like JFK scrolling Instagram Reels or whatever, then I'm going to be completely honest, I would have fallen for it maybe because of just how real one of them looked. Now this could have just been a uniquely realistic video, but you know, I think it could have an impact on how we trust the government and politicians. Like if deepfakes like this can be made, then I think it could have an impact and possibly erode public trust in whether something's legitimate or not.
I wanted to clarify my point that, like, I don't know who it was. We talked about this last episode, Adam, where this guy got a sombrero photoshopped on his head.
Yeah, King Jeffries.
Yeah. So like that already happens. Like I see it happening more. Like you can get people to say things they didn't say, like politicians. But like I meant, so for my previous statement, I kind of take that back because I'm like kind of seeing ways it could go bad.
Yeah, and kind of relating to that, like we know that Trump and like the White House has been using AI generated videos to like as public statements or, you know, like jokes, as Vance would say. But like in the future, that could be very dangerous if, you know, the executive government of the United States is making deepfakes like that and uses them maliciously.
Yeah. I also think this could be used by foreign actors like Russia or maybe Iran or China or something to sort of influence our elections. Because if they were to create like a really realistic deepfake, like, let's say it's 2028 and the two candidates are J.D. Vance and Gavin Newsom. Let's say one of them creates a deep fake of like Gavin Newsom saying something really bad, but it's like the premise of here's a hot mic or whatever. And they then just kind of put that on social media, let it spread naturally, all that stuff. That could possibly, work. I mean, there's not a large amount of people in the United States that are constantly tuned into politics, that are constantly tuned into the news. And some who get their news like entirely from social media. We talked about this a couple episodes ago of the, danger that getting all your news from social media can have. But if someone only gets their news from social media and they see something like this, that could possibly impact the way they see one candidate or another, and that could possibly allow foreign actors to influence our elections and undermine our democratic process.
And I remember seeing an image of like, I forgot, like maybe was it in like an F-22 that was shown like on the ground surrounded by people, and it was like made to be like an anti like American technology propaganda piece. I don't know if it was an F-22 or not, but
No,
like it was obviously fake.
Yeah, it was like a giant scaled up F-22 or F-35.
Yeah, like it was like a size of like a building.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, like if they could make that and it would be like actually plausible, like if they timed it well for like, I don't know, some sort of mission over the Middle East, then that could definitely have an effect on like trust in the military, but also, just trust in the American government in general, which would, obviously not be good for the United States.
Yeah. Obviously, there's still propaganda going on, like now. We talked about it last week, and you mentioned it, Nicholas, so like AI videos that Trump's posting. There's like, he was playing a cowbell or something. You all saw that?
Yeah. Like the Grim, like him dressed as a Grim Reaper, that thing, yeah.
Don't know what the point of that was, but I'm guessing we're going to see more of that.
Yeah, I mean, this administration has definitely not only not shied away from using AI and stuff like that, but they've actively embraced it as part of their, I'm not even sure I could call it a communication strategy, because a lot of what is being posted, I'm not sure has any like relevance or is like attempting to actually deliver a message. It just seems like it's just kind of posting things that, maybe the president finds cool. Like it was a photo of him as a Jedi for May the 4th. I don't know what the communications benefit of that was. I'm not sure what the communications benefit of the Grim Reaper AI video is, but, it just seems like it's a 17-year-old posting stuff on Instagram, kind of just like it's very random and there doesn't seem to be any clear message behind it.
I mean, a lot of what we've seen of like the Republican like communication strategy has been kind of like that, like not really a clear message behind it, a lot of just random stuff, but as long as it like captures media attention and shifts it away from the opposition, like that's all they really need. And so that's probably what they're going for. And I guess like this could lead into like, I was wondering if like AI would become like a partisan like thing, like would Republicans be, I know like the Trump administration has been pretty pro AI and like helping, like trying to loosen regulations on like AI companies and whatnot. But like even some Republicans have pushed back on that. And there's kind of like been sort of a bipartisan not appeal, like movement towards more restrictions on AI. But there are also like, just as many people on both sides that support AI for like the race against China or something. Right. So like, do you think it could be like a partisan thing, or do you think it could like, I don't want to say split parties, but like be, bipartisan on both sides?
Do you mean like in opposition to it or in support of it, or
both,
like used as like, a political tool?
Like both in opposition and in support, not necessarily as a political tool.
Right. I mean, I think it's obviously hard to say. It will really depend on a bunch of stuff, but I do think that this has the potential not just AI images and stuff, but I think AI in general has the potential to, be a really bipartisan thing, possibly in opposition to it. Because, I mean, if you look at the pros and cons of AI, the pros are basically mostly it just makes life easier, I guess, like with search tools and stuff like that. It can also help with writing and stuff like that. But then if you look at the cons, uh, extreme increase in energy bills, wherever data centers are made, the energy bills go up, the water supply gets, hampered by that. There's a lot of noise pollution. They cost a lot of money to make, et cetera, et cetera. There are a lot of environmental concerns surrounding
Yeah,
that,
people
not
gonna
just
lose
in
jobs.
losing jobs. That's a big one that will
Hmm.
probably
Yeah, that's the biggest one for
matter
me.
matter a little more
Yeah.
nationally. I'm sure the environmental stuff will matter to the communities in which the data centers and stuff are being built, but nationally, the losing jobs thing I think will really motivate a lot of people to come out against AI. But I think it does have the potential to be a sort of unifying thing for both the left and the right to come out against AI and the extreme development of AI.
Yeah, you'd hope so. You'd hope that we could get some unity on this issue
Right.
and get some regulation or another pass too.
Yeah.
Because the technology is moving fast and we have to keep up with it.
Right. And I think it's not
Yeah.
just about like stopping these massive data centers from being built, which, like I said, is often very bad for the communities in which they're built and all that stuff. But it's also about regulation of the tech itself, like you talked about, Drew. I mean, did you mention like how it's advancing at such a rapid pace? And I think that not just for chatbots and stuff advancing, which could cost jobs, I also think that like we've been talking about the AI generated videos and images. I think that needs to be regulated too. And I think Congress historically has done a poor job of regulating digital things, social media and the internet and stuff like that. But I do think that this could possibly be something that a lot of Americans want something done about that could motivate Congress to do something about this.
Yeah. I just
And
want to
like,
note that AI is not always a bad thing. Like,
No,
if I'm on my phone,
yeah,
like, and I'm on, let's say, TikTok, AI, I'm doing air quotes, AI is giving me the videos I see. It's
right.
not just like ChatGPT or Sora, it's used fundamentally in a lot of different things.
Yeah, no, I
and like
think
for medical applications as well.
AI in
Hmm.
general, I think it's not a bad thing. Like, I mean, if you struggle with spelling, like I think we all know I do,
Yeah, we know.
yeah, yeah, things
Hmm?
like Grammarly and stuff like that can be a useful tool for helping improve your writing and stuff like that. But I do think that AI should not be writing all of your stuff for you. I still think that writing essays and communicating is a pretty fundamental human thing that AI should not be taking over. Same thing for journalism. I mean, I'm not sure AI should be making all the news stories and stuff like that. I think that should be more so left up to humans. And I think there's a time and a place for AI, but then there are certain parts of life and society which, AI should not really be involved in that it seems like it's starting to creep into.
Yeah, and for like going back to like the like bipartisan push against AI, like I don't know if like you've heard of this, but like Josh Hawley and Dick Durbin, who like Republican and Democrat respectively, introduced a act into Congress that is like not really regulating AI, but more so like put strain on AI companies in the case of like harm coming to a person who uses AI because of two recent cases in which children have even killed themselves because of AI. And I don't want to talk too much about that because it's really sad, but like there is a bipartisan push against that. And even, Josh Hawley also introduced a different act that was supposed to actually regulate companies. I don't know if that'll make it through Congress or not, but we'll see. We'll see how much people actually want this.
Yeah. I also know that there was something in the Big Beautiful Bill, which Marjorie Taylor Greene then came out against, which was, I think it prohibited states from making their own policies about regulating AI for 10 years or something like that, which she said had she known that was in there, she would not have voted for the Big Beautiful Bill. So, I mean, yeah, I think you're already starting to see several members of Congress on both sides of the political aisle who are, some of the more outspoken, some of the more well-known figures in Congress who are coming out against AI and in support of AI regulation and stuff like that. I also think you're seeing stuff like that happen at the local level. I mean, just here in a place in St. Louis County, there was a data center that was going to be made, but then the local community came out against that, and they actually put a moratorium for a year on data centers being built in that area. So that's just another example of, it seems like public opinion is not on the side of AI and these massive AI data centers. They then pressured their local government to step in and stop it, and then it worked. So I think there's a decent amount of public support for AI regulation. I think it'll just be a matter of emphasizing that point to Congress.
Yeah, I can't blame the people who don't like AI. Like, it's kind of scary, right? Like,
Yeah.
it used to be, oh, look at this photo I generated. And now it's like, is this video AI or not?
Yeah. It used to be
Because
like,
I used to like, this was in like 2022, 2023. I used to use like all these tools and like look at all these videos. I mean, not videos, all these photos and like just make a lot. I had like a couple hundred on my phone and it was like fun then, but now it's just like scary.
yeah, like before it was like really wacky and like, oh, that's so real, that's so obviously fake, but it's still kind of funny. And now it's like, okay, is this real? Is this fake? Like I was watching this video of like this guy on Instagram who was like looking at this like AI created video, which basically attempted to make it look like deer rescued a person, and AI was told to like make it as realistic as possible, and they gave him the video, but then he had to like really analyze it because he's like a professional video forensic scientist or whatever it's called. And he had to really look for details that normal people would probably not be able to identify to tell that it was fake. And I think that's one of the really scary bits of how good AI is getting at that stuff.
Yeah, and not even with having to do with visual stuff, but like with auditory stuff. Like in that video, I mean, you could kind of tell that the video that we were talking about with Hakeem Jeffries, like when Chuck Schumer was speaking, like you could kind of tell that it was a little bit fake, but not really. And like I listen to some music that uses computer programs to like sing, and some of them use AI. And some of the AI that is used is like so human. It's extremely like I could not tell at all if like it wasn't said to me that it was AI.
What do you guys think about how AI affects people outside of politics? Like how it just affect us?
I mean, we talked about the data centers and how,
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, but like there are these, I heard about these two people that like live, I think in like, I'm going to use American terms here, within like a football field of a data center, and they barely have running water. They have to collect water like overnight to use for like basic necessities, and their electricity is very like unreliable to use. And yeah, and they
Yeah, I
didn't have
saw
any
that.
say in when the data center was built.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah, I mean, I got this from like my dad a few months ago, but like in the last like I think year, our electricity rates have gone up by like 12%. And so and because, it's a national grid and all that stuff, there's like energy, these data centers use a massive amount of energy. And so I think there was one that was built in Missouri that's using up power. In fact, they've talked about restarting a nuclear plant, the 3 Mile Island nuclear plant, where there was an incident in like the 80s or something, just to power new AI data centers. So like, not only is it draining the water from communities, but it's also causing power rates to go up by a pretty substantial margin for people across the country, wherever these AI data centers are being built, and even outside of the communities, because it's a nationalized electricity grid.
But there are these chatbots, image generators that are taking jobs away from like authors and what's it called? Photographers. And like
Yeah, I
I'm
mean that
sure we're gonna see like animations from AI in the future, especially with
uh,
this new tech.
right. Yeah, no, I think that that there are industries and professions and stuff like that, art, journalism, writing, stuff like that, that I think AI could technically replace and maybe make something that is, understandable and like makes sense and all that stuff. But I think that writing a novel or painting an oil painting or something like that, I think that's such a uniquely human thing to do that like I said, I do not think AI should be doing stuff like that, like at all. Like it should not be in that field.
Yeah, and I guess like for artists, and like really the only way, like potentially in the future, to prove like for real that you made your art would be to do it entirely like physically and in a way that an AI could not do. Because
Right.
even if like you do it digitally and you like show all your layers and like the speed paint, which just like shows the process over time, like an AI could mimic that and fake that. So for artists, like digital artists, like that would be, it's really hard for them, you know?
Yeah, like have you seen like people paint something or like do something digitally and then everyone's just like, oh, it's AI, it's AI. You're like,
Yeah.
people just being like throwing out accusations. This is AI, that's AI. Like,
Right.
I see
Yeah.
so many comments about that. Like,
Like,
obviously,
I remember this one like music video that I found there. There was like a cover for it, and it wasn't like citing any artist. And there was a massive debate in the comments about whether it was AI. And I couldn't see anything like AI-esque about it. Every comment was talking about that and not the actual song itself, which was really sad.
All right. Thank you for listening to Simplifying the State. We will be back next week with our next episode. We'll talk to you then. In the meantime, like we said at the beginning, make sure to rate the podcast, make sure to follow, make sure to go over and follow us at Simplifying the State on Instagram, and we will talk to you guys next time.